daughters, and the sea god brings her corals and rings.
But you, my friend, are not such a stranger. You've heeded her call with clear heart and mind. Dive in the pool, push past the danger, and you'll share in peace as only we find.
Anahita, mother of water, feeds the rivers, the brooks, and the springs. The naiads are her chosen daughters, and the sea god brings her corals and rings.
Anahita, mother of water, feeds the rivers, the brooks, and the springs. The naiads are her chosen daughters, and the sea god brings her corals and rings.
The tale of a brave and noble wanderer who fell into a place not known by men for years, a place underground, older than time or longer, growing in our terrors and our fears. He played a golden lyre, had a voice of the stars. He trekked the world by boat, moving near and far, blessed by the gods. Thousands heard his voice. The world moved when he made that fabled choice. He joined the ranks of a famous noble vessel, manned by a crew of 50 heroic men, the son of a god, men who hunted and wrestled, some of which were never seen again. He angered the gods, and their vengeance slew his lover. A deadly nest of snakes and left her body cold, though he knew in his heart he could never love another, and hatched a plan both foolish and bold. He played a golden lyre, had a voice of the stars. He trekked the world by boat, moving near and far, blessed by the gods. Thousands heard his voice. The world moved when he made that fabled choice. For years, looking for the entrance that would take him to the darkness under the earth, braving deadly perils and a guardian immense to prove to the king and queen his worth. He moved their frozen hearts with his beautiful song. They granted him to leave with his lover and wife if he didn't look behind as he traveled along. They would restore her soul and her life. He played a golden lyre, had a voice of the stars. He trekked the world by boat, moving near and far, blessed by the gods. Thousands heard his voice. The world moved when he made that fabled choice. Alas, curiosity proved to be his downfall. He tried to steal a glance to see if the god spoke true. She disappeared in seconds with a sorrowed, haunting call, just as the earth's green meadows were in view. And so ends the tale of our brave and noble wanderer, who tried and failed to bring his love back to the sun. The only chance to restore his true love he squandered, and in that valley his life was undone.
Historicus stood and looked at his work, volumes of all of the lore on the earth, a lifetime of labor for his hoplites and serfs, all the servants and scribes his vast treasures could feed. He paged through the volumes that he couldn't read. His scribes had translated and sated his needs, but he knew that the books were the greatest indeed, or so he'd been told by his huddled elites. So he summoned his guard, and the wagon was leashed, and a score of apprentices gathered beneath, with their tablets appended to defend against grief, for their lord could bring praises or scolds. He hiked up his robe of linen and gold, and gazed at his consort who had dared to grow old. He heaved towards the wagon, and without being told, his caretakers moved in to help. But for once he deferred, he'd do it himself. Though a noble well-bred, he was in perfect health, so he swung up his leg and missed, and he yelled and tried to grab on to his staff. But his bulk was too great, and he stumbled and crashed, and there on the ground, with his saged head cracked, as he lay there and faded, he sputtered and laughed. For once he had done his own work. Came down from the hills and camped in the pond that sits mirror still. Spoke to the clod and the beaked and the billed, and rejoiced for her life was fine. Out from the city came a sensual man, sent out from the temple to act on a plan. The queen of the city took with forceful hands any she wanted to share of her wine. So the harlot he stopped and drank from the pool. His throat clicked and locked to feel the barb cruel. The wilder woman held out to his neck, but he won out her mercy and asked her direct. Lie with me, woman, and put down your spear. Let me take your sorrows and heartbreak and fears. Take of my spirit, take all that you need. My body is here to follow your lead. After 7 vivid nights that they laid, the wilder woman grew newly afraid. The beasts were now fearful of her touch and her gaze, and she wept at what she had lost. The man saw her tears and softened the pain. He pulled out the beetles and moss from her mane. He spoke of the city and why he had came, and wept at what it had cost. So through 2 more weeks they mingled and talked, wore breeds into sandals with smooth river rocks, tanned hide of a lion for girdle and cape, and walked close together to the great gates. Come out, great queen, and find a true foe. Don't pilfer the husbands of your women folk. I lost to you humans my tie to the land, so come out, dear monarch, and die by my hand. And out came the queen, in a battle they clashed. 10 seasons they grappled and throttled and lashed. While they struggled, the city trained enforcers unmatched. By the time they collapsed, the queen was dethroned. After waking, both realized just what they had gained. Finding another so strong and untamed, they decided for glory in the great city's fame, to rove and bring great riches home. And they went on their journey, now etched in the stars. The harlot was mournful and wandered afar, and though his adventures are less widely known, he would tell of his lover wherever he roamed. She came from the mountain and sang like the birds, a song of such beauty few mortals have heard. Though our cities will grow to height yet unseen, I mourn for the wilderness robbed of its queen. Sweet sings the siren over salt water foam. The sailors who took me so far from my home are raving and screaming and clawing their ears, trying to block out
song that they hear. Though I hear the singing, ringing and clear, my heart is not captured by longing or fear. I wait for my jailer to rush to the fray with the singers as cover. I steal away, though late in the night, without the sun's rays. I hurry my flight while my captors are dazed. But enough of the stars peek through the veil, and I follow with ease the Milky Way's trail. Though I'm born from the stars and I walk on the wind, I still have to hobble through sorrow and sin. Creatures and vagabonds swarm for my light, to keep like a jewel, to warm them at night. I watch the Sphinx leave and stare at my palm. Though her fortune held evil, my heart is still calm. After fortnights of riddles and terrible tests, old questions were answered, and air floods my chest. For leagues out to Stygia, the song could be heard. Over mountains and oceans echoed each word. After service and solitude, as treasure or slave, I'd live in no harem, adorn no king's grave. Though I'm born from the stars and I walk on the wind, I still have to hobble through sorrow and sin. Creatures and vagabonds swarm for my light, to keep like a jewel, to warm them at night. Though I'm born from the stars and I walk on the wind, I still have to hobble through sorrow and sin. Creatures and vagabonds swarm for my light, to keep like a jewel, to warm them at night. Aye, the red pulsing glow and the hammerheads blow, our destiny pulled from the ground. With 4 crucibles cracked and our calamine brass, no longer will we be held down. Well, the fates may decree that we speak blasphemy when we choose to be free of their web. But our sisters deny that we have to die for the sins of the heaven-cursed dead. Rise against the heaven sent to keep us meek and low. The lies that warped our hooves and skin have kept us down below, as if it was hubris to want to be fed. Put clothes on our children or sleep in fine beds. If gods were so great, we'd already be dead. Our people have paid more than you know, so we bided and planned and brought in more hands. We had spies in the ranks of their priests.
Over oceans and sands we reached foreign lands and readied ourselves to rise from beneath. The foreigners came and clashed in our name. Cunning cowled cowards fled their great stones. The triumphant remained and new kingdoms were laid by the victors who'd won their new homes. We rose against the heaven sent to keep us meek and low. We know that with their evil spent, our kingdom will still grow. Though they came from outside, they helped us to be free, to mold and to shape our own destinies, to watch the old gods turn tail and flee. Our people have won more than you know. Thundering chariots bound down the track, necks are all craned to leer at the race. A poor urchin girl selling fruit from a sack. A spectator reads, the juice smears his face. Back on the track, a horse's leg breaks. The chariot flips and screams can be heard. The crowd is excited and for the show's sake, the other contestants each race undeterred. Is this why we quarried the stone? To build massive temples to our new divine. The keystones were laid by people alone. No creatures but us built this great chiseled shrine. My head starts to ache as the ritual starts. I pray to the goddess of wisdom and rhyme. The words leave my mouth with an ache in my heart. I drone with dull tone each scripted line, though I witnessed ascension and healings. And I've lived enough time to know what we've gained. As my years grow greater, so does the feeling. No goddess of wisdom would sanction these games. Is this why the old theaters fell? Were cook fire stories so savage and poor? Without teaching the past, how can we tell if it's monster or goddess that we supplicate for? The forums are filled with chaos and blame, and many have gathered our help to beseech. The soldiers take bribes, and without any shame, they threaten the farmers, dismiss them as weak. So the polity riots, and I have to agree, though I've spent my whole life under vows. If my goddess exists, she's blind to our needs. Nothing holy or mortal will keep us low now. This is how we'll drive our fate. No out-of-touch gauntlet will again be revered. We'll raise our own people who have proved themselves great, and never again will we bow to our fear. He shucked the shell from the mussel, gobbled the meats and smiled and thought of the tubers and greens he had rustled to roast up with beets and steep in a sauce. For days he had wondered and wondered, pondered and plundered larders for lard, but he pondered too hard and hungered again, and so he restarted his feast without end. He napped in the bristles while whistled by bolts and other such missiles, launching or logged some battle or siege or bloody revolt. He finished his meal and started to nod. After so brief a nap of hardly a day, he awoke in a red battlefield. He thought of the visceral waste and decay, but just for a minute, then looked for a meal for weeks he had wandered and wondered, pondered and plundered, larders for lard, but he pondered too hard and hungered again, and so he restarted his feasts without end. Well, something had always confused him. Others abused him, but he just didn't bleed, or let in the spear tips to puncture his skin. He wondered why others felt such wanted need. If you really love life, do like him, just don't die. Maintain your mask and deeply breathe in. He tried to tell folk, just refused to comply. If a psychopomp visits, send him to kin. For years he had wandered and wondered, pondered and plundered, larders for lard, but he pondered too hard and hungered again, and so he restarted his feast without end. For years he had wandered and wondered, pondered and plundered, larders for lard, but he pondered too hard and hungered again, and so he restarted his feast without end. Like a river we flow, and like barley we grow, to reach for the light of the sun. By the burbling brook and the oaths that we took to unite and face shadows as one. When I saw you at first, I took no special heed as you led in the flock from the hills. But when tragedy struck and you rose to our needs, my murmuring heart pushed my faltering will. Like the mountains we stand, and like titans we plan to push against dire designs. Amidst blossoms of gold, with our futures untold, we merge and mix water and wine. As we raised up our children and guarded the flocks, the tribes of the Iron Man swelled. By truncheon or pike, by arrow or rock, one by one we were pushed towards hell. Like the great winds we howl, and we rake like the owl, who terrifies creatures that creep. If we die in our flight, at least we gave fight and refused to go softly to sleep. But the man-creatures ran and we breathed with relief, though steep was the price that we paid. Filly and full were screaming in grief, 10 score were the gravestones we laid. Like a river we flow, and like barley we grow, to reach for the light of the sun. By the burbling brook and the oaths that we took to unite and face shadows as one. Like the mountains we stand, and like titans we plan to push against dire designs. Amidst blossoms of gold, with our futures untold, we merge and mix water and wine. There stands here a grove where the goddess still reigns. The passing is matched by trial and game, sprinting and hurdles, discus and ball, to greet the new king as his twin brother falls. To mark the pass of the waning year, athletes gather and priests draw near, with sprigs of cypress and mistletoe. The old must die for new to grow. Hey, oh hey, the ivy and spruce finish the ritual, bring a new dawn. Dance and play and relish the truce between river and rock, cougar and fawn. The running of maidens through Appian Way starts off the games and the king's final day. Children throw flowers, the crowd is a roar. Their feet end up bloody, but pain is ignored. As the Vestal race closes, the first feast begins. A stout satyr waddles with wine on his chin. He opens his throat and velvet notes spring, as if the Green Mother herself